Welcome to No Room for Phonies, the top 10 questions to ask someone to get to know them really. And tonight I have invited my husband Charles back.
Hello.
And my son Zachary from
Hi.
Toronto. And my son Sebastian from the bedroom across the hall.
Hey.
So before we get started on our questions, though, I wanted to talk about the cocktail of the month because we have been drinking Salty Dogs.
Oh, yeah. You would like these, Zach.
I'm looking forward to having one.
It's grapefruit juice. With
Red grapefruit
juice with salt around the rim of the glass. And then
gin or vodka,
whichever you like. And you can put lime in it or whatever. But the salt and the grapefruit juice are really, really
The other day,
good.
I just made a virgin one. I poured some grapefruit juice and sprinkled salt on it.
It was good. It was really good. So, and then June is coming. So I'm going to make sangria in June with a bottle of red wine and a half an ounce of lemon juice and a half an ounce of orange juice and 2 tablespoons of honey or sugar or something, 2.5 cups of lemonade, 1.5 ounces of gin, 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1 lemon, 1 lime, and orange, all cut in half, and ice cubes.
Wine and vodka and gin?
That's what the recipe said.
Wow.
Is the name of that hangover in a cup? Is that what that's called?
Must be. And then I freeze those little purple grapes and float them in it. It's very good.
Nice.
And the other thing is, at the LCBO, you can buy a bottle of sangria.
Oh, the premix?
The pre-done, and it's actually really good too, but it's only wine.
Not as good.
So anyway, I'm going to try to make this. And then my book recommendation for this podcast is the book Upstream by Dan Heath. And it is about how we should be solving problems from the top of the stream rather than the bottom of the stream where everyone's drowning. It's kind of like stop pulling people who are drowning out of the bottom of the stream, go upstream and figure out why they're falling in.
Right. So it's solving problems on the larger scale rather than just like break fix
troubleshooting.
So it's a really good book, and what I like is it gives a lot of examples. Like it does a whole health, it's from the States, so it has that slant on it, but it does a whole example from healthcare and how we spend like tons and tons of money getting people better after they're sick instead of lots of money preventing them from getting sick in the first place. And we're a lot of and then they also have a whole section in there about education and how they came up with ways of making sure that kids didn't drop out, and they figured out what were the factors in grade 9 that happened. Like, for example, kids that failed 2 courses in grade 9 were more likely to drop out. So they made sure that
before their senior year.
Yes. So they made sure that they were successful in grade 9. So that kind of stuff. And then
did they take summer gym, those kids?
I don't know. I didn't ask them.
Because that's what made me successful.
It was a good choice. Summer school was a good choice.
Just sticking with Chip and Dan Heath, I listened to The Power of Moments, which isn't really a podcast, but...
No, it's their audiobook.
It's an audiobook, and I just thought, well, it's audio. So The Power of Moments is basically about living in the now and being mindful and on top of, like, you know...
relishing every moment.
Every moment and taking advantage of every moment. So... that I want to recommend that
rather than living just in the future or worrying about the future or regretting or remembering the past without.
Yeah, so it's a very good. So I'm recommending obviously Chip and Dan Heath. They have they're prolific in their
very
writing.
Good. Yeah, lots.
Do they also own an ice cream company?
Chip and
no,
Dan.
That's Ben and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry.
Oh, it sounded the same. I thought they owned an ice cream company and wrote a book. That'd be a great business.
Yeah. And then I just want to bring everybody back to my website. There are book lists and canning ideas and gardening tips, and we're going to be putting a new crochet pattern link to Ravelry that I just made And Sebastian, do you want to promote your thing that you're doing?
Yes, I was just about to say, when you mentioned the book, what was it, Upstream?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I work for a company called Skycom Solutions Inc., which is a managed IT service provider. And that's basically what we do. We manage the technology at the top of the stream, so you don't have to worry about falling behind in technology at the bottom. And what we're doing coming up special on June 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, myself and a good friend of mine and mentor, Nick Caddis, we are hosting an event together, online virtually, of course, on Microsoft Teams live events about how to create a live event that really stands out and is really great. So we're going to talk about how to take a live event from good to great. And if you're interested in live events, if you're interested in the technology behind those live events, you can join us then. Sign up on the registration form on our website. That's at skycomp.ca/learn, and you'll find everything there. Or you can follow us on all social media channels. That's at SkyCompIT across all channels. So
And
thank you
I
so much.
also I promoted your podcast on the
On this
last
podcast?
No,
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 I
your
promoted
podcast.
your podcast on this podcast.
Yes.
Yes, but last
Uh,
time.
Yes,
what
last
is it
time.
called? The
A lot more to it.
a lot more to it. So
Yeah, playing on
anyway,
IT. Yeah.
and I can put a link to your event when I post this
Right.
online.
Very swell.
So anyway, that's a little shout out to
Nice beard,
Skycom
nice beard,
Solution.
Zachary, by the way.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. So, all right, so on to the meat and bones. So we had 4 perspectives on the top 10 questions that you could ask to really, 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 really get to know someone. What are those questions?
So what is the situation? We're just talking to a person we've just met or a friend that we've kind of become
Well,
friends
and
with?
you could also think of it as a job interview situation
Yeah.
too, right?
Ooh, that's fun. I like
Or
thinking it
you
like
could
that.
also think of it as I might want to date this person, so what kinds of questions would
Okay.
I want to ask them on the first few? Or just, I don't know, a colleague to know whether you really want to
Right.
hang
Or
out
maybe a
with
friend that you've been friend with, but it's felt just kind of surface and you wanted to go deeper.
Yeah.
Well, there is that awkward stage between like I just started a new job, like 8-10 months ago now, but getting to know employees, like other coworkers of yours, on a deeper level, because like yeah, you can talk about work stuff, but on the long walks to the parking garage, like what do you talk about, kind of thing, and maybe to get to know them more. So
And
you can
also
throw some of these
and
questions at.
all of us being shut away during COVID, when we get back together, and you can just have improve the relationships with colleagues and
So
friends.
Inquisitive conversation that
yes,
sparks
yes. So
friendship, or not, but they might hate us.
my number 10 is who do you most look up to, or who is your hero? You think that's a good question? Did anybody else have that question?
Nope.
No? Nobody
No,
else?
I didn't have it. Although, I mean, if they say LeBron James, they've just told you that they're a smartass
Yes.
I
because
don't
he's
get
so
that.
tall.
Because he's so tall.
Because he's so tall.
Who do you look
Oh,
up to?
You don't get it
well,
because you don't.
because
you're
I'm already
6'4".
tall. So
You're
like,
6'4", so you don't get
So
it.
that was my number 10.
who do you look up to? Lots of people look up to me.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So Zach, what was one of yours?
Oh, this is a fun one. My first one is, what's your class? So people can
Oof.
take this in a few different ways.
Mhm.
They say the proletariat, then there's sort of a political person, perhaps.
Or a nerd.
Exactly. The correct way to answer the question is the nerdy way, which is where you tell them your Dungeons and Dragons class, which is, of course,
Sorry, can we just clarify? Both those ways that you just said are very nerdy. Just so you know.
that's true. But one of them
I
is
would
way
probably
better than the
say
other.
I am middle class, is what I would say.
Yeah. Or working hard to join it, right?
Right.
Anyway,
I would.
but the Dungeons and Dragons are barbarian, bard, cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard.
Oh. Oh.
Which
I
one
want to
you
be a
pick?
sorcerer. I want to be a sorcerer and a druid.
Well, then you're going to need to get an expansion pack or something.
No, you can do that. I've played Dungeons and Dragons. You can mix classes.
What's yours, Sebastian?
We're gonna skip.
Can I
you
just
at
like pick
this point,
random
because you only have
questions? And,
5.
yeah, I only have 5 because
So we'll
I
skip
would.
you next time.
No, because I thought about this. It's because if I were asking questions to someone, I would want them to be asking 5 questions to me. So that's equals 10.
You're
That's
just
how
lazy,
I would think.
but go ahead.
No, I'm not.
That's a
Okay,
pretty masterful
question.
pivot.
It
is
is.
actually pretty brilliant.
It
Maybe
is,
one of
okay.
your questions should be, how many questions do you think people should ask when getting to know you?
It'd be 0. I would say. No.
Oh.
Okay.
So mine is a fun one. If you could open up your own little shop on a street in a small town somewhere, what would it be? So yeah.
That's cool, because then you kind of look for their entrepreneur spirit, if they have any, or
if they say immediately, like, I would never open up a shop somewhere. That sucks. That's the stupidest thing. Then I'm like, then you're a corporate sellout, and I don't like you already. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Charles, yours.
All right. My question is: when you shop for something that isn't a weekly or monthly purchase, do you go? Isn't a weekly or monthly purchase? Do you go for the best price or for a particular brand name?
Ooh, I like
Best
that.
price every time.
Because I want to know if they're status driven or
that's kind of same to Zach's class question. No, it's not. It was the same as.
So I think it's hard to pick which one would be the best question. I like all those questions, like all of them.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
We can let the audience vote.
The audience could decide.
Yes, comment
That's
below.
That's a great idea.
Comment below. Let us know what question you think was the best.
I like your entrepreneurial question, but like I also like I like them all. Okay, so number 9 for me was, what are you excited about most in your life right now?
Yeah, that's
cool.
a good question.
That focuses on the now.
So Zach, what's your next one?
My next question is, typed or written for taking notes?
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
You're gonna write it down.
Did you write that down, or did you type it out?
Some people are a mix. Or do different things in different contexts, and you also might find out
different contexts.
You also might find out how people tend to use the written language in their life, because some people have no cause to really take notes on anything.
Mm-hmm. I write notes out, like I write lists at work of like tasks in the day I have to accomplish, so I can like go through that.
But by hand on stickies.
But then we also have a ticket system where I do it like digitally as well, and then I also like write out in Word article drafts. So I do a whole bunch of different things.
You mean in Word?
Type. Whatever. Writing, it's all the same.
When I'm in an online meeting, I get frustrated by the people who type the notes, because if they don't turn off the mic. Well, if they don't turn off the mic, because then you go thump, 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 thump.
Yeah. Yeah, terrible.
Like that. Okay.
Ban him. Kick him from the meeting.
We have to skip you this time because you only have 5.
No, he has just come up with another one.
Okay.
No, I didn't. But you can just I'll just banter in the times where it's fine.
Okay.
So what is more important to you, time with friends or time alone?
Oh, that's
a
good question. Do you have a similar one?
Not exactly, though.
Mine's better.
Kind of
in extrovert or introvert, kind of, right?
Where do you re-energize?
Kind of, except I like the way that you've asked it in this way, because we're in this sort of cultural moment, not just because of COVID, but everyone wants to be like, oh, I'm introverted.
Yeah, we are kind of in that moment.
And you're
it's about
not.
time.
You're
it's about
just
time.
not.
What's the most important time to you? Is it time
you're
with
not
friends?
Cool and alternative anyway.
Yeah, but how you ask it is much more subtle, because you can't label yourself with that.
Yeah, because people want one or the other depending on stuff.
And if they answer like I'm an introvert, it's like, well, that wasn't the question.
But some people are ambivert.
No, that's not a
Oh,
thing.
that's actually the coolest one.
No.
So while I was introvert, now everyone wants to be an ambivert.
Yeah.
I'm just a vert. How's that?
Is it my turn?
Really?
Adverse is what you are, not avert.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your
Okay.
turn.
Was there any time between the ages of 10 and 19 where you thought you had to be the parent in your family?
Wow, that's a really good one.
Well, when Zachary or when both of you were away and Zachary and I were alone, I definitely had to be the parent a lot of the time.
Oh, right. Auditory.
He's not
feedback.
denying it.
I'm
He's not
nodding.
denying it.
All right, my
Let the
number
record show.
8.
Well, what am I fishing? What do you think
Oh.
I'm fishing for?
I don't know. That's
I
super weird.
No, but it's a very
Well, I'm looking to see whether they what their family dysfunction level is, because if they feel at some point they had to be the parents because their parents were a mess, it might just show that they've had a hard life and that they've maybe worked through things or haven't yet. I don't know.
It's a hard knock life.
Okay, well, those are all good questions, so we'll put them out. All right, my number 8 is, what would you change about yourself if you could?
My nose. Oh wait, we're not supposed to answer
No.
them.
What would you change about yourself if you could? Do you think that's a good question?
Yeah.
It's a very. I don't like that question.
I do. I feel like what sort of category of things you do
Yeah.
says a lot, says almost more than what it specifically is. Like if it's a personality thing, or it's
fair enough.
a time, how you spend your time, or like Dad said, if it's some physical, like your nose or something.
Yeah, I guess it could say different things about the person, how they answer.
Yeah.
Although again, due to COVID, you'll probably get a lot of people who say haircut. I know that would be mine at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I just cut,
You
I
don't
just
think
cut,
it looks
I just
good?
cut my own hair.
I got a friend of mine to do mine. It looks
you
very
need
good.
a new friend.
What's that?
You need a new friend.
Oh, that's not very nice. He won't listen.
All right. So somebody else, Zach, what's your number 8, I guess, or 7
No,
or
7, no,
3,
8.
whatever.
The third one, yeah.
I'm going backwards.
I just there's sort of a third response here, but city or country, and you should probably follow up to ask what they mean. But I think that's kind of an interesting one.
Like whether you would want to live in the city or the country.
I guess they could interpret it any way.
Yeah,
I
whether
guess
you'd want to. I mean,
Whether
You
they
want to
think
sit on
they
a
are,
porch with.
maybe they think they are an urbanite, but they're not, or
Right.
they're wannabe.
Well, there's a big difference between living in Welland and living in Toronto.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
there's more than just two answers, and the other thing is it's different to ask a quite young person than an older person because you would assume that the older person already voted with their feet and sort of picked the one which is where they are now, whereas a younger
Mhm.
person maybe is not decided yet.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's a good question. Sebastian, do you want to share another one?
I always want to share another one. If you could change one thing about the world with the snap of your fingers, what would it be?
Nice. Magical thinking.
Well, not magical, but like it just. I guess it is magical.
I
Whatever.
know. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, that also kind of goes to all sorts of different categories.
Yeah. It's like a more like broad. It's kind of like the opposite of the desert island question, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I would make
Kind of.
YouTube not have the ads anymore.
Really?
Go back to how it was in 2009 or 10 or whenever.
When there were no
Ads
ads.
make people
The
revenue
golden
and allow
age.
people to live
Well,
off
and
of
now
YouTube.
Google can just put ads wherever they want. YouTube can put ads wherever they want, even if you don't want them to make revenue off of your videos. So you have no choice now.
Wow.
That's because you're using their platform. And
It's almost like working for a union. Sorry, I couldn't stop that from coming out.
Whoops. Okay,
Oopsies.
Oopsie doopsies.
I have one.
It's
What
not
do
really. It's all right. I just think it's funny that we just not answering some of these, but I guess
We're
that's
not.
just part of
We're
Well,
not answering them. We're asking. It's about. Do you want to answer each question? No, that would take we'd be here till tomorrow.
Answer the ones you really want to answer.
Yeah, if you want to
I-
give an answer, give an answer.
No,
Because
I
I
was just
grew up.
I don't
I grew up in the country, taking Zachary's question. So if I answered that question, I would say I grew up in the country. I no longer wanted to live in the country, but I didn't also want to move to a big,
urban center.
big city. At least not yet.
have to only eat at gastropubs, yeah.
But one day, maybe when we're older, I might go, yeah, I might like to live in a condo where people were looking after everything and I didn't have to look after anything anymore. So, right now, I'm very satisfied with where I live.
Yeah.
Right? And you want to live somewhere where you can afford a house. You don't really care.
Yeah, I don't even give a crap where it is.
That's going to be the country.
Except he has to be able to work from there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
Did you do your question?
I know I haven't yet. What do you do to soothe yourself when you're stressed? Eat, exercise, distract yourself by being by being alone, distract yourself with a group activity or something else.
That's a good one.
That's
You
a
might not
very
get an honest answer to
long-winded
that one.
question.
I am long-winded.
Sebastian goes on his drums.
Well,
And they're electric, so they
they're
sound like
electric
plastic
drums, so you
thumping.
just sound like I'm hitting plastic.
And then the ones that hit the floor just sound like plastic thumping on the floor.
Yeah.
It's better than real drums. I'll give you that. It's better than an acoustic kit.
I'm not sure.
On your end of things.
I'm not 100% sure.
At least
No,
I know when it's real drums, I know what you're doing.
It's not 100% sure that they are better, but that's just
okay. So that's all. Everybody's done the third one.
Okay, so my fourth one is what makes you really angry?
That's a good question.
Is that a good question?
Zoom transitions on videos.
Injustice. No.
No. Well, I mean, there's a whole bunch.
You made my answer sound dumb.
You could
Thanks.
get everything from people cutting me off in traffic to whatever, the whole political whatever. You could get all kinds of things.
Oh, I should send the boys that the one about the husband leaving all the doors and drawers open.
Oh yeah, that was very funny. How do you get your wife's attention? And the guy's going through the house opening.
And he's singing that song, "Leave It Wide Open." Anyway.
Oh.
That's how you get my attention.
The song is not "Leave It Wide Open." That's hilarious that you.
Leave the door open.
Yeah, that.
Yes, it. All right,
Thanks.
Can't sing too much of that. They'll copyright
What's
it.
your
Yeah,
question?
that's true. My question
That's why
is
James
which social media do you like to use the most?
Oh, that's cool. That
That's a
does say
good
a lot about
question.
people and their age, kind of.
MySpace.
Hey, that
I
even
don't know.
predates me.
I know.
I
I mean, Instagram
I've started
means you're
watching-
young and happy. Twitter means you like to be angry all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of Twitter. I mean, whatever, but because people are angry on Twitter, it is true.
Oh, and Facebook.
But I am
Facebook is
having
bad
I'm
too.
having quite a lot of fun on TikTok these days, watching things. It's
Oh,
there's some really funny things on TikTok.
Get out of the loop while you still can. Run.
And for some reason, they're better than those other things that were 15 seconds like 3 years ago.
Vines?
Fine.
Yeah.
They're longer, I think.
How dare you?
Which is sort of a function of the bandwidth.
I like the ones with that long nose, that dog in the different. Do I look good now? Do I look good now? And it changes its costume all the time.
Oh, that little one, yeah, the little not a greyhound, the mini Italian greyhound.
Spin whatever
it's
they're
just
called.
funny. It's very
Whip it,
funny.
yeah.
I've been spending a lot of time wasting time on, well, not, this is just when I can't fall asleep, so it's not like during the day, watching Instagram Reels because they're just a little bit longer than TikTok.
Yeah. Okay, Sebastian, what's your question? Or have you run out of questions?
I have never run out of questions. What food do you very much dislike, not hate, but will still eat?
Mm.
Oh.
So like liver, I would be rude and say no thank you to anybody, even if
Right. This one you would still eat.
okay.
It's a deeper, thought-provoking.
There
food
really
question.
isn't a food that I dislike.
That's not true. There's something.
Like liver.
I like liver and onions.
Oh, I know you don't like mate.
Oh yeah, I don't like mate. I would turn off. I would not drink mate.
But you have to be able to still eat
Oh,
it.
and
eat
I
it.
know what else I don't like. Bubble tea.
Right.
Right.
But you would
There
if
you
you
go.
had to. That one you would if you had to.
Yeah.
Now, if I had nothing else to drink and I was
Okay.
so hot and
You're at a
Zachary-
bubble tea
Zachary,
stand
what
in the
about
middle of the
you?
desert.
What about you? You've not lived at home for such a long time. I don't know what your food dislikes are.
Peach yogurt. He hates, or no, he likes peach
I
yogurt.
like peach yogurt. No, what I really
it's the other
don't
ones
like,
with the lumps.
what I really don't like but would still eat is green pepper, like
Right.
green bell peppers.
Okay.
Not a fan, but I mean if they're like served, like
Mhm.
still eat them.
see, I still don't give him. I don't put green
We don't
peppers
put
and
them
things
no.
when you're coming because I know you don't like them. Because I
And-
figure you're not here. Well, now
This is
of
most-
course you're not here that often, but I mean, like
Pre-COVID.
pre-COVID, I thought, well, you're not going to come for dinner, and then I'm going to actually go out of my way to serve something you don't like.
Well, and green peppers are objectively a garbage pepper.
Yeah.
Yes,
Of all
and
the colors, that's the worst. Red is great, orange is great, yellow is fun. It's fun.
yes,
But
But-
green is just unripe red.
yes, and
bitter.
they are bitter, and most things taste better with the other colored pepper.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing like a steak sandwich.
I'd like to
taste
know
better.
how the green pepper lobby has kept this up so long.
I think
I don't know because
I
there's
love
enough
green.
people like
I love green peppers.
I like them
and I
raw,
think
but
the-
not cooked.
They're the best things for green peppers are on pizza, baked on the pizza.
That's okay.
Like sliced out raw and put on the pizza and then baked is great. And then also Philly cheesesteak sandwiches with mushrooms and green peppers. That's
yeah, that's okay. I get
Yeah,
that.
I'd rather
it's
have
not just okay, it's great. But this is to weed out this question is to weed out the people that are like picky eaters. Because if they just start listing off like I don't like it, but I would still eat it. And if it just like they
Well,
kept
then we would
listing
all
things
turn
off-
and run, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Because
had
if you're not a foodie, you're not living.
I mean, not if they're like your coworker or something.
No.
no. Okay,
Oh no,
what's
I'd run away from them too.
That's funny.
I
All
would
right,
tell them right to their
who's-
face.
Is it me?
What's Dad?
How many books have you read or listened to in the last year? Tell me about one of them.
That is close to one I have when I say, who is your favorite author?
Right.
So that.
Except my favorite
Well,
author, I
that's
don't
different.
necessarily read his. My favorite author, I don't necessarily read her or him every year.
Yeah, but that's, I would ask a book question of some kind.
Very
What's
good.
yours? Okay, my next one is, what motivates you to work hard?
Paychecks. I don't know.
You have to
Is
maybe
that bad?
add that, except for or
No.
above, over.
No,
and
I
above.
would want to hear somebody say,
Yeah,
I work
no, I
hard
guess
for money.
Yeah,
I
we
want
would
money.
want to know that, I guess.
Well, and that you're passionate about what you're doing, I guess. It's a mix of that.
I guess.
Yeah, it's because you gotta like what you're doing a little bit, but
well,
the
like
pay's nice too.
I don't need the praise of my boss or my coworkers.
No. Whatever.
I work for the opportunity to be creative. If I couldn't be creative, ugh.
All right, Zach,
Sure.
what's your next question?
You knew it was coming from me, but it might not be exactly what you're expecting.
Is that the question?
My question number 5
Oh.
is, do you vote? Not who do you vote for, because then you'll
But
start
do
a
you
fight.
vote?
Yeah, with you especially.
I don't pick fights with anyone. I am a delight.
But yeah, valuing the freedom and
That's
the right
a great
to-
question.
it's an awesome question.
That's an awesome
Yeah,
question.
and they might say something about their feelings about other stuff.
Unless
But
it's
do,
Trump.
but do
I
you
don't.
vote? But do you vote is a great question.
Well, it
because-
also just talks to how engaged they are in the larger picture of things.
Yeah.
I've voted once in the last 10 years. I've voted 7 times in the last 10 elections. Like
That's actually way better. I mean, the new version that I like better is, have you voted every time you had the opportunity to?
yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes, I have. Sometimes for
too.
what I have voted except for one. I have voted for every single Canadian provincial and federal party. I am one of those undecided voters.
I
Don't say that too loud.
I
Everyone's
think.
gonna
Wait,
come knock on
wait,
your
wait,
door.
wait,
I
wait.
know.
Did I turn? What's the voting age in Canada?
18
Yeah, so I think I turned 18 in the.
in the summer.
Summer, June 18th is your birthday.
No, I know that.
Did
Thank
you
you
vote
very
in the
much.
provincial? No.
No,
I
he
think
wouldn't have been old enough.
I think I voted in the
Federal.
federal,
The most recent federal, yes.
and then there hasn't been one since then, right?
Well, you voted in the
But he was old enough for the Doug Ford.
No,
Yes, I voted in that one. Yes.
and you voted in the municipal.
Yes, I did for sure.
Yes. So
Yeah.
To vote out a certain coffee shop owner that it will not be named. But yes, it was no longer part of council anymore because he
yeah.
stepped down. So I can say that. So it's fine.
Yeah.
my
Okay,
first
what's
one
your
was the Tim Hudak 100,000 jobs election.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Good times. Good
Mhm.
times.
Okay, what's yours, dear?
Already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's Sebastian's.
Yeah. Oh, Sebastian, you didn't give your question.
Well, you didn't. You usually give me an opportunity to give my question.
Well, I
but
thought I had.
Here
but
it goes. And
Okay.
this one I'm making up because
Wow.
I'm running out. I have another one that I'm saving, but I'm making this one up. If you could be a character in a new TV show or movie, which character would that be?
Mm.
So like not like an old school movie like see here, like we don't want any like that kind of language character or whatever, but something like new that's like not
Give me an
racist.
example. Who would you be?
Who would I be?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about it. I just asked the question.
Like you mean like general category, like astronaut, detective?
No, not that's like
I
whose
feel
what your
like this
job
is gonna, the main thing this question will do is devolve into an argument about what a new show is.
Yes, that's the point.
Probably.
No, it's not the point. Just something that recently came out and you watched it, a full season.
Frasier.
And
Oh, you mean there actually what new show is out there that you would like to act in, and who would you be in it?
no,
No.
Okay.
No, who in real life would you be?
no. If
No.
if
No.
you could,
I think the answer is whatever great X country bake-off or baking show.
yes,
Not a
I'm
contestant, the
looking for.
host. Because you just
The
go
host.
and you
The
eat.
host.
You
I'd like,
eat
yes, I'd
cake
like to
and
host the
you
Great British Bake Off.
Yeah.
hang out in a tent and
I want to host
talk
the
to Mary Berry and the guy with the little soul patch.
yeah. I want to do the Great
Paul
British
Yeah,
Hollywood.
Paul.
Paul. I want to do the Great British Gluten-Free Bake Off and see what people can do. Because
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mom and I could win that one.
That is a complication.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a complication because you can't taste it if you're allergic to it.
No.
So next, what's yours?
Next, okay. You can't read my phone.
I'm not. I can't read that far away.
Anyway, it's not on there because I'm making this one up.
Whoa.
Ballpoint, felt tip, or pencil?
That's another nerd question.
Or dip in ink. What are they called?
Feathers.
Quills?
No, nib.
Nib. I like ballpoint. I do
Oh,
not.
gel pen. Gel
I
tip.
do not like fine point.
I like as fine as you can go micro point gel pen.
Ballpoint.
0.38 millimeters. I mean.
I like anything that transfers ink or
Pencil.
pencil to a page.
Do
I
you
like
have
the
a
gel pen because the fact that it might just get everywhere is a nice bit of danger added to your life.
Living your life on the edge.
On the edge. All right. That
So
was
my next question was, what is your favorite author? Which was similar to Dad's. So, and that's a hard question for me. I just read a book called Molokai, and it is the story of a leper colony on an island in Hawaii. And it has
Sorry.
very much captivated me. Why are you laughing?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Has
And it's
nothing to
just
do with.
I like historical fiction a lot because I'm learning about so many things that have happened in the world. And every time I read a bit of historical fiction, there is always some kind of illness or something that is overcome through like science or whatever. And whenever I think of that, I just think, why is there any group of people that are resistant to having cure or treatment to an illness that's been developed through science? Because by the end of the book, they actually have not a cure for leprosy, but they can put it into remission and stop it. And people, obviously, we don't hear about it anymore, except in very remote areas of the world.
Yeah.
So I like historical fiction. But
So
anyway,
every time you've said to somebody, "Oh, I just read a book about a leper colony," every time I hear you
A
say that, I
leprechaun.
keep on hearing a leprechaun.
Anyway, Zachary, what's your question?
Tricks are
Unless
for kids.
you
Oh
know
no,
what your
tricks are for kids. Is the
unless
bunny
you know
rabbit.
who your favorite author is.
Get your hands
Oh,
off me, Lucky Charms.
It's
That
still
was-
Robertson Davies, but to continue,
Robertson Davies. Yes, I
Yes.
love his books.
I have no more. I have no more fun questions. All my questions are very serious.
Okay.
Nerd questions also.
I've had some pretty heavy ones.
I know, but I'm just saying I have no more ones that aren't fun.
Okay.
Now
I'm
it's
only here for
serious
fun
business
questions,
only.
so I'm logging off.
How many friends do you have?
What?
No, it tells a lot about people. I'm with Zachary 100% because you can have lists and lists and lists and lists of friends, but
But what defines friend? Are they like Facebook friends or Instagram followers
This
or
for
is
some
why
or
it's
like
a good question.
yeah, because some people might say I have 7,500.
I have 5 people that I
7,000.
constantly text in my phone. 5.
I know of an individual who talks about their 20,000 Twitter followers like they're all dear friends, and I feel sad for this person.
Is
And
it
I wish him
Justin
all the
Trudeau?
best in the next election.
What did Sebastian say?
Is it Justin Trudeau?
No.
What political
that's
views does
excellent.
Sebastian have? Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
an excellent question, Zachary. I really like that question because I in our course we take like our Kane Ramsey course. He talks a lot about that. Like you don't really have, and Brene Brown refers to that too. You really don't have a lot of people in your life that have earned the right to hear your story and be part of your life, like really on a friendship level. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But
Yeah.
do you have a question, Sebastian?
Yes. This one's a little bit more fun.
That's
Okay,
good.
whoopee.
So this one's kind of off the other one, but I actually wrote this one down from the beginning. And it was my first question, the first one I thought of
Okay.
when I was writing my list. What is your favorite all-time movie of them all? You can watch it for in a row over and over and
Apollo
over again.
13.
We know yours. We didn't need to hear it from you. We know yours. I was curious the other people that don't just watch Tom Hanks get launched into space over and over again.
Mom, you should play Kerbal Space Program. It has many similar situations as Apollo 13.
Man, I wouldn't want to watch Apollo 13. Probably I'll leave this podcast and now I'll have to go watch Apollo 13 or Fly Away Home.
Okay,
Just
Love
I'm
that
asking
movie.
I'm asking the other 2 people on this podcast right
Oh,
now
you
what
actually
their
want us to answer?
You really
Yes,
want to
it's
know?
a simple answer. It's a one-word answer.
Oh, I don't know.
Or depending how long the title of the movie is, but whatever.
What's
Oh,
yours,
Brother, Where Art
Zachary?
Thou was a great movie. But I mean, we also already did a podcast on what our favorite
Yes, we
movies
did
are.
movies. Yeah. So
Yes, but I want to know now.
ultimate
The
flavor.
same one. It doesn't change
What
every
is it
month or
again,
so.
Zachary? I have 2. What is yours again, Zach?
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, right. Okay. Mine
A
is
Room with a View.
A Room with a View, and the most recent version of Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Mine is
Disney
Wind
owns.
River.
I'd be curious to watch that again and see how the effects hold up.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Not as
13
good.
years ago now, I think.
I know. I wish that they'd make the rest of them, but anyway.
Okay, your question?
Okay. Before your last big purchase, what thought process or other steps did you take to arrive at your decision to buy it?
Can you bleep things in podcasts? Can you bleep this? Because I know what mine is.
What thought process or other steps?
Yeah,
Oh,
I could
he's
tell you
trying to
what
buy a
mine is.
house. So
Oh, I
he's
know
gonna
what you're
swear.
trying to
No. It's just like something on Amazon or something like
Right.
it's. Can we bleep? You can cut it out, but my thought process is looking through for a couple of seconds and going, it.
And then you buy it?
Yeah.
And then you
And
click
you buy
purchase
it.
now?
Yeah.
I won't get into mine, but it involves spreadsheets.
Yes.
I figured.
That's okay. That's why you're getting along so well with Kyle, because I think his whole life involves spreadsheets
Go
too.
Kyle. We all
And
love
mine
Kyle.
Shout out for
That's a-
Kyle.
And
That's a-
shout out
that's
for
a nerd
Kyle.
answer.
Anybody needs a financial advisor, message
Kyle.
me and I'll send you to Kyle. And for me, I have our budget in my head, so I know how much we can spend, and so then I just weigh things out. And I mean, there was a time when we couldn't spend anything on anything.
No, at the end of the month, we look at each other. So, do we want to buy a book, or do we want to buy a DVD, or do we want to save it for next month so that we
And
can
do
go
something
so that
real-
we can go to a fast food chain?
A
Yeah.
DVD? Are you from the past?
We are from the past.
There's
Okay,
Netflix now.
so my next one is, what 3 things do you think about the most each day?
You
The good answer.
and you, the two of them.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's 1, 2, 3. I'm
that
good.
that would be mine too, to be honest.
Well, now
That's
I
a
feel
good
like
one.
mine has to be that.
It really depends
No,
on the
it does
day.
not. It's
Do
not.
you
That's
think
100% not. So.
We know it's not us.
It
so.
doesn't matter. You know it's not me. I know it's not me, so don't worry about it.
Mine is bike
You think about
parts,
most each day.
What did you
marketing
say?
techniques.
Oh, bike parts.
Bike parts, marketing techniques, and watching what the housing market's gonna do is what I'm thinking about. That's all I'm thinking about.
Did you say what?
I'm with you on that last one.
What 3 things do you think about
Oh,
most
3
each-
things. Okay.
One of them is the same as Seb. What is the housing market going to do
Yeah.
every day? And the other 2 are questions that I'm going to ask later on.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just.
I would say, can I lump
Okay.
the 3 of you together as like family?
Yeah, family would be.
Because for me, it's family, and
No, I'd like to think that
what
you
can I
think of
create
me
next?
for like 4 hours of the day, and then you
Right.
think of Zachary for
The only
like 2
time
hours
I
of the
think of
day.
you is when I'm cleaning up something mess that you've left in the house, and then it's not very nice what I think of.
No, it's
That's
not.
fine.
That's not true.
You think of the same answer to
That's
when I
not
go to
true.
purchase something, right?
No. I think about creative projects that I want to do and work on, and a lot of times I'm thinking about things I want to do to help other people and support other people, and because that's one of my
No,
life,
my
my
third
mission
is my
things.
third is health and fitness, which everybody that knows me from 10 years ago would say, "What?"
But
Are
yeah.
you an influencer now?
Hardly.
No, we're not influencers. Okay,
I
Zachary.
got to get my yoga poses.
But
a
you're
little
talking
better.
about it on a podcast, so you're basically an influencer now.
Wow.
So
What's your
actually, I have
Worked out
2
okay.
that
Okay.
are
Well, yours are
super
questions.
related,
Okay.
Okay.
but they're definitely separate questions for
Okay,
the
do
purposes of
one and
10.
come around, and we'll do the next one.
Unless you want to do both of them together.
I want to do both of them together. And
I
then
still have 3 to go. What's
It's
happened?
fine.
Then
So
you
do-
technically only have 9 questions, Zachary, and that's going to be a problem.
It doesn't. It's not. Nothing's a problem.
Okay.
Nothing's ever a problem.
Go ahead.
What was your worst year? And then what was your best year?
Hashtag
Oh.
glow up.
Those are good questions.
What's glow? Hashtag glow up.
Well, if you usually like, that's what they say on the Instagrams now when you're like, had a terrible year this year and like, but next year's gonna be great. Hashtag glow up.
Oh, I
I'm making fun
see.
of people. I'm not being
What does
nice.
glow up mean? I thought that was a show on Netflix.
That's Glow, and that's with Allison Brie. That's a different show. That's completely different. But
Okay.
That's a good
so
question, Zachary, because you have to like really think it through.
And
Yeah.
you didn't specify any particular context, like school year or work
Nope.
year or.
Nope. Best year of life. Which
I,
I mean, I'm certain a good chunk of people might say 2020 is the worst year because of COVID, but it'd be interesting for people who didn't.
that's me.
It's
I
not
had the
mine.
greatest year ever.
not my worst
It's
year.
not my worst year.
I got a
No.
dream job. I got that's about it. But that was all I wanted. So
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
No, it wouldn't be 2020 for me. Actually, to be honest, for me, uh, this year and last like 2021 has been probably not maybe my best, but some of my better because of the way I feel about like certain things and where I've come in my own like
Yep.
whatever, my own pathway, right?
Well, a lot of what this podcast has been about.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I think I'd
that's
say
a really good
worst.
question.
Was that? Am I wrong, Zachary? If I said grade? Oh, wait,
8.
grade 5.
I don't remember those particularly well. I
you
would say
remember
worst,
Fedora Man. You remember.
Worse is what?
worst 2019, best 2021.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
I can't think of one worst.
Wow, you have a nice
No,
cushion.
I've
I've had
I've
some
just been
bad I've
I've
had
been
some bad
perfect.
ones, but I don't want to pit like the year my dad died against another year. I don't know, like
I don't know,
No,
but it has to be a more of a combination of things. Like
yeah.
I think a year that is a combination of things. Do you have
Yeah.
another question, Sebastian?
nope. I'm all out.
Okay, dear, do you have
Oh, I
whoops,
do
my
have
phone
several.
went dark. Yeah, that's a really good question.
Okay, now my phone won't flip. Okay. What concrete influences do the 5 people you spend most of your time with bring to your life?
Hmm.
Because they say that the 5 people you spend most time with are the most influential. So I want to dig deeper and say, what are those like specific influential things?
Fitness and health and uh expanding my career and knowledge base and working on mechanical things and fixing things instead of just uh, buying something new, for instance.
Cool.
Those are some of them that I can say that are influenced,
Mm-hmm.
that I feel influenced by.
Nice. Mine is feeling less guilty and less regretful.
For me, I think I have learned to sort out people out of my life who are like
Duty heads.
somewhat. No, but I don't. I now.
That's a
It's
grade.
not that
That's a
I.
grade 5
It's
word.
not that I
Yeah.
never spend time with negative people. That's not it. But those are not the people that are more or less in my life, like as influencers. So I spend a lot of time now with people who are positive and people who are realistically optimistic about the future and solving their problems and dealing with things. And so that's where I spend more of my time.
I like that term, realistically optimistic. That's my favorite
Yes.
word.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good
Word
got a
word.
nice ring
combination.
to it.
Okay, do you have a question, dear?
I need to make you a t-shirt.
Oh no, that's another. Okay, my question. My
Yes.
next
Oh my
question.
gosh. If
What?
right now you have to comment below if you would be interested in buying from No Room for Phonies um
A t-shirt that
a
says I'm
t-shirt that says
realistically
I'm really
optimistic.
yes. And
Realistic optimism is in.
if you're listening to this and you're a graphic designer and you want to submit art,
No,
it
I
could,
can do our own
I
well,
t-shirt.
don't need it.
okay, fine,
Okay,
whatever.
my next question, now that that commercial is over, what makes you feel at peace?
Melatonin.
Besides drugs.
The brain
Sticking
chemical or
a
the
brand new parking pass on the windshield of the car.
Oh, that's nice. Where did you get that?
I mailed a check, and then they mailed this to me. Mailman
I'm
dropped
sorry,
it off.
Oh,
what?
that's so old
That's
for
so
you.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
What makes you feel
What?
at peace, Sebastian?
What's mail? That's my first question.
Oh,
That's a great
enough.
question.
Yeah.
I use mail
No,
all the time.
but mine would definitely be like running or biking.
So
Any
some
of those
form of
things.
when you're moving, you feel at peace.
Knitting.
Knitting for your dad. For me, sometimes it's just like sometimes when I get into
Snuggling with you.
Oh God.
But sometimes when I get into this real mode where I really feel like I'm helping someone or supporting someone, that makes me feel peaceful.
Nice.
So,
More,
do you have another? What's
for
that?
me, more specifically, organizing things.
Yeah, that I could.
Mary Kondo style.
You know, stacking rocks in order of descending size.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
That sounds like
Zach?
OCD to me. That doesn't sound
No,
relaxing.
it's
No, I
actually
understand.
it's Japanese gardens. That there's a whole
Think-
bunch.
Sand
There's a lot
garden?
to that.
Raking sand.
Think about spreadsheets. I'm sure they make Zachary feel peaceful too.
Yes.
And do you feel peaceful when you're writing, like just writing yourself for your own?
Mm, not really.
Okay. All right.
I don't. A lot of the time, I used to feel bad. I'm like, I'm supposed to be like decent at writing. Why do I hate writing so much? But then I found out that's a thing.
Yeah.
What, when you're good at it, you don't like doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is apparently a thing.
Do you have a question, Zach?
I do have two more that are extremely deep, and I'm very proud of
Okay.
them.
I have two more too.
I have two
Let me
more.
see if I can ruin them. No, I'm just kidding.
Go
Okay.
for it.
Just holding a pen up.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Yeah,
Ready.
why do you do things? Is it because you decided to do the thing, or because all of the sum total of decisions of other people going back thousands of years and chemical reactions and the orbits of the planets and nature and things have kind of made this a inevitability that you would make that decision?
So this is the fate or free will question, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I believe
But if you
in
say,
free will.
do you believe in fate?
Well,
No.
if you say
No,
it with that accent, like an
No,
Instagram
I
influencer,
believe
no.
that like now that I know that I understand my own, which sounds crazy, but now that I understand better what my life purpose is, even though my life purpose hasn't changed in like 30 years, 40 years, I actually make decisions better now because I have it more in the forefront of my mind. But I believe it's choice. 100%. Choice and responsibility for your own life.
That says, and that says a lot about person answering. That's why it's such a good question.
It is a
Yeah.
very good question.
I have a hard time with the whole evolutionary destination or whatever that's called. I know it has a name.
Predetermination.
Predetermination.
Well, the thing is, it's not necessarily a science thing because there's also a theological predetermination.
Right. Yeah, no, that one I
Yeah.
have a harder time with. But recently, another person that I read a lot, I listen a lot to, Seth Godin, had a podcast on what was it called? Shoot. I'll have to put that in the show notes. Anyway, for example, everybody that takes the SAT test, then they rank you, and 1 point difference can set your whole journey on privilege or not privilege for which schools you get into, thus which networking you can connect to, thus which kind of jobs you can get, and which law schools you can get into, yada, yada, yada. And I think that system where there's the gatekeepers and scarcity, I think that's changing.
Yeah. Although, I mean, there might be other systems in place. I mean, thinking about even the months of the year, there's nothing that really says that one person born in 1 year, I mean, obviously the distance between the two points in time is the same,
Right.
but why do we have kids born from January to December
Yeah.
in a grade
Right.
as opposed to June to the
Right.
following July?
That's an
And that totally
arbitrary.
changes how, like, you are, because then you're the biggest or you're the smallest, and it's kind
Yeah.
of a random chance. So I think it's a mix. Although I tend to come down on the side of free will when it comes right down to it, because I think
So,
how else would anything ever get any better?
Exactly. But then there's also like the whole white privilege thing. Like I can't change the fact of that I was born into a setting that I was born into because my grandparents left Russia to flee communism.
And thank goodness for that.
So I have a better life, whereas other people for generations haven't been able to flee their situations. And so there, there is a bit of that feeling of, well, where is the free will in
that is a
that?
very good question. And I think what I'm seeing is like the questions that you're asking that are the really good questions are the ones that generate a longer discussion, right? Because what you're trying to do is have a conversation with someone, a meaningful conversation with someone. Do you have another question, Sebastian, or are you done?
I'm good. I don't have any more questions. I was
Okay.
just going to answer that one.
So what do you
Okay,
think?
go ahead.
I was going to say that you have a choice, but there are things that are going to happen
Yes.
that are out of your control. That's
Yes.
what I think.
But you have your
Like the
choice.
housing market.
You have
Your
a
choice-
lot of options though. But
Your choice is in the reaction.
Right, but what tends to happen is it's usually other people that are causing things that are out of your control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, there's things like
Other people.
Yes. So
Okay.
That's why.
I have two heavy duty ones.
just do one now.
That's it? That's all I get?
Now, and then we're going around again.
Over the last 10 years, have you had 1, 2, or 3 major shifts in attitude, beliefs in any of the following areas: spirituality, work, life, duties, politics, or relationships?
3?
1 to 3 major shifts in attitude or beliefs.
3 in each category?
No, it can be 1 in each category. It can be
vowel?
1 in one category.
I'm saying there are 3 in each category, approximately.
I'll take what is I'm trying to make it a game
Could you
show.
say the categories again?
Spirituality, work, life, duties, politics, or relationships.
Zach,
like for example, mom
mom
having the shift where what?
Zach's not telling us right now that he's changed political parties.
Well, you already gave the example that was perfect.
What was my example?
About being friends, hanging out with friends that are positive. That's a shift in relationships.
Yes, like I no longer, and part of that is I no longer say things and agree with people just to like
maintain harmony,
a friendship or harmony.
Whereas I still do that.
So sometimes
to your chagrin. Wait, Sebastian, are you answering any of them? Or are you just saying yes or no?
Any biting?
Those are hard ones. You have to think about that for a while.
All right.
I just had to write down the categories.
My beliefs in what I think like a normal life should be. I get like everyone, like you're brought up in this area, at least in Canada, thinking that you're supposed to, get a job, buy a house in the suburbs. Like it's like that regular everyday plan, but
the treadmill.
My belief is that you can do different things and not do that and be different, and it's actually better for you in the long run. You don't become a loser.
Hey, careful.
Well, you're not in the suburbs. You didn't do it. It's different.
Sab, you're going to alienate suburban listeners.
Good. Come at me,
Sebastian will not be
suburbanites. Is that the right
invited.
term? Suburbanites?
Yes.
Is that something else?
No.
Anyway, I'm not going to go into specifics of all of them. I'm just going to say there's 12 in total, not evenly divided over all of the 4 categories.
Okay.
But yeah, lots.
Well, and for me, asking this of a person is to look for personal growth.
Yes.
Because if things haven't changed,
Changes turn place.
Now who's copyrighted?
Oh, it was less than 30 seconds. It's fine.
okay.
So my second to last question is, how can someone earn your trust?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This varies depending on the setting.
Yeah, that's a good. That's actually good.
I'd say by going on a camping trip, a remote camping trip with them. That's how trust is earned with me.
Of
Well,
course.
I'm looking forward to doing that then, Seb.
Yeah, that's. I'm looking forward to not doing that, Seb.
You'll have to
Well,
figure out a different way with
We're
me.
kind of stuck trusting each other. That's
Yes, but I'm
unfortunate.
just
That's-
saying, like in the workplace, yes, you're right. It would be slightly different, whatever.
No,
But
I want to take
basically,
my coworkers on a camping trip.
to me, trust is about honesty, integrity, and authenticity. So I think you're being the real person that you are and being honest without being hurtful. Like there's no reason to be hurtful. But I think that if you're kind and honest and trust, like that's trust, that how you earn my trust.
Mhm.
And if you have something to say to me, say it, but say it in a way that is not attacking or hurtful.
I don't trust anybody but you guys.
Really?
Probably.
Don't trust anyone.
I feel like in order to really trust someone, you kind of have to know what they want, like in life, what their underlying motivation is, because then you can sort of subconsciously check whether what they're doing sort of makes sense.
I don't
Well,
trust suburbanites. That's for sure.
my last question is very related because it says, how do you interact with someone who disagrees with you?
I mark them down as a non-supporter and move on to the next house.
But that is true though. That's a hard one. Like, because someone who just doesn't see things the same.
Well, but that's where my diplomacy kicks in.
Yeah.
I try to iron things over and create harmony.
Yeah.
But that's
me,
not necessarily the right thing.
What I want to do when I disagree with someone is I want to ask them questions until or get into a conversation with them so that I can understand how they are thinking, so that I can understand them better. And a lot of times that's misinterpreted as nosy or this or that. But I really, honestly, my motivation is if I understand you better, then maybe I won't disagree with you anymore.
Yeah.
If I can really see something from your perspective, maybe I won't disagree with you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or less, anyway. Anyway, any of you guys have any other questions?
I have my last question.
Okay.
It's the best one.
So let me go first, and then you can end with the best one.
Yeah, we'll end with the best one.
So, what makes you a better person, and how?
It's a pretty good
question. Because I'm better than all of you. That's why.
I knew that was coming. So I have a philosophy that I am good enough today, but I'm always better tomorrow.
Yes.
Because, and I had this conversation today about parenting, about just being a person. I'm a better person because every day I learn something new, and that makes me better the next day when I wake up.
I was just going to say listening and learning. That's.
Yeah. So what's your final question, Zachary?
All right. Final question.
Drum roll, please.
No, please don't.
Crash.
Can people, our lives, society be perfected?
Like, can you reach the state of perfection?
Yeah, personally, society, relationships, can you
No.
perfect it?
No.
No.
Realistic optimism. No.
No,
See, that's so important.
because you
Yeah.
can't please anyone. You can't please anyone.
Do you think anybody could say
Ever.
yes?
Do you think there are people that would
The
answer?
communists used to say yes.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. The
I was gonna
utopia.
say that, but there's also a lot
That's
of, I
actually a
don't know.
really good question, Zachary, because you're getting at.
Well, both ends of the extreme. Yeah,
Well,
whatever I'm trying to say.
and you would get a lot of, in my opinion, some of the more like big social justice warriors out there that are, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to think that specific, but like I
No,
feel like this
I am.
I feel like this question and the previous question, you sort of need to hang out with people who are on the same page as you with those.
Yes.
Because, I mean, even asking questions and figuring out why you might disagree, a lot of them will probably come down to that underneath everything. So that's why I think they're such important questions. And they also sort of open up such interesting discussions as well. So those are my top two.
I have one more question that it's
Zachary's was supposed to be the last one. So what's
no,
your
but this is a really quick one.
okay?
If you could have any pattern on a fedora, what would it be?
Definitely red skulls on black for Halloween.
Sorry, that was just a dig. That's just an inside joke.
I still have all
I had
Zachary's
to.
fedoras in the closet for when he has a relapse and needs
When
them
do you,
all
a
back.
relapse? I don't think you relapse fedoras. I hope you don't. Oh my gosh.
I don't
But
think
I
so.
What a nightmare.
But I think though that it would be interesting. I would like to start a group of friends. Like I would like to have a group of people that I could feel like I could really just ask any question to and get into these kinds of discussions because
Sebastian, this is the plot for your next sitcom
I don't make sitcoms, but yes, go ahead.
or documentary.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I really hope that people who listen or watch the show tell us which question they thought they would like to ask.
yeah, because there's lots of ways to respond to us
Yes.
now.
How can they respond?
They
Commenting on the
can
YouTube video.
Facebook, Twitter. I'm even on Pinterest now.
What are you at? No room for phonies?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the number 4
With
usually.
the number 4? No
And then
room
there's a
for
there's
phonies?
a website. I do Instagram.
What's the website URL? Really quick.
No
No
room. Number 4 phonies.com.
.com. Great.
4phonies.com with the number 4. So, well, thanks you guys. I really appreciate it. On June 15th, I'm going to come back and I'm going to start talking. This is the end of the top 10 series.
Mm-hmm.
And in June,
the 10th of the top 10.
June, July, August, and September, and even maybe October, I'm going to do a series on school after pandemic and like school and getting your kids and so the next one
Getting
I'm
your kids ready
or dealing with your kids going
in
back.
the mindset.
But
So,
the first one I'm going to do though is what should parents see in every classroom from kindergarten to grade 12.
When they do the school tours at the beginning.
When they
Open
what should every classroom have in it and have accessible and available to kids. And
so let me know when those episodes come out because I will forward them to some coworkers that have children that will be starting school, either going from daycare and starting school, or they are older kids that are just starting high school. So that'll be helpful
because
for those parents.
The setup of a person's classroom is incredibly important. How a person sets up their classroom is incredibly important.
They should just look on Pinterest and pick the first thing that sticks, right?
That is the thing that I said at every staff meeting. Pinterest is not the curriculum. Stop printing pages off of Pinterest. So yeah, I'm going to do a whole series on sort of my tips and tricks and things I've learned in my 30-something years of being a teacher and principal. Because I think I think people are stressed out about school a lot. And I think parents are overly stressed out about school when they actually don't need to be.
I'm really
Because
looking forward to hearing it.
And because I also think that people forget how much time is actually wasted in classrooms where teachers don't have things set up properly and going well.
Yeah. When
Because
things aren't
I've been in
tickety-boo.
classrooms where kids really didn't learn much in a full year and they were physically at school.
Me too.
That's for another
Anyway,
time.
So thank you for joining Zachary, Sebastian, Charles, and Pam for this version of No Room for Phonies, the top 10 questions to ask someone to get to know them really.